My next step is to pull that resistor out of there, and I want to check the circuitry in this area as well. And I thought, well, while I'm at it, I'll replace that super capacitor, the backup memory. And I figured, since this is going to be on my workbench and it's going to be a daily driver and it's going to be on every day, all day while I'm here, I might as well just go ahead and recap the entire unit. Might as well, I'm here. Don't want to have to come back later and redo it, you know, get peak performance out of it now, and hopefully save myself a future repair. But before I recap, spend the time, money into doing that, I want to get that resistor out of there and see if I could at least get the other channel operable. Sounds simple, sounds easy enough, right? So I went ahead and pulled the bottom plate off, and bottom plate is, you'd think it's there for a reason. It's a service port. You know, they're saying, hey, you need to get in here, you need to replace something important. Let's make that very accessible to you. Generally, most times they're going to make the amplifier accessible for you. No problems. However, the problem with that, at least on this radio, this stereo, the amplifier is right here. And as I put my pointer over here to direct you to look where the amplifier is at, I goofed up. This is not my amplifier. But it really doesn't matter. Here's my amplifier. Now, pray tell, how in the world are you going to take this out? What in the world is this service bay for? I mean, really. And here's even a tighter shot, just in case you wanted to see it better. You could see that you just can't get your soldering iron in there to pull it out, even if you wanted to. I mean, you'd have to go at such an angle that really you're not getting your iron to seal around there, or you know, if you're using a soldering gun or whatever, you're just not getting that out of there. So in order to remove this board, I'm going to actually have to disassemble and remove this completely out of the chassis. I don't mind. I find that the serviceability on this coulda, shoulda, woulda been a lot better than what it was. So at which time, I'm hoping that I'll be able to test this out of the case. I'm not sure if I have to remove this or not. Get that resistor replaced, test it out of case, and go from there. If indeed it does work, or there, you know, that's the only problem is this area here. Then we'll move forward and replace all the capacitors. I just ordered these in. My findings, honestly, these bigger caps generally stay pretty good. However, I will replace them just for GP, like I said. I don't want to have to do this again. So we'll replace those. I'll check everything in that region. And I'll try to clean the boards up. They do look a little icky. Have it out of the case. The resistor that we saw earlier that looked suspect, and in fact even with the continuity tester that checked for dead short, now that I got it open, out, and removed, well, I don't have it removed, but chassis removed, it's checking fine. No shorts. In fact, it's giving me the proper reading. So my next step is I'm going to check out the power amplifier and see what the status of that is now that I have better access. I may also pull the capacitors out of line just to ensure I don't have a dead short from them, and also where I could check the amplifier even better, because when it was in line, when it was in the case, checking those pins where the cap was, it was showing a dead short. So that's going to be my next plan of attack. I have some of the components plucked out of here that I was after. Primarily the one here. See how hot that one got. I'm still thinking, even though this resistor showed good, we can clearly see how hot it got. And when we look at the bottom of the resistor, we could also see it corresponds to that. However, the big question is, why did it get that hot? Was it just complete failure of that resistor, that component only? Could it be the gunk that had fallen down on it over the years? Or could the PA be faulty? I still haven't ruled that out. But I can say this for sure, and you can see right here, this jumper did break. I don't think it was caused by me, because I wasn't prying on that side when I was pulling the resistor out. I took this tool here, got up underneath the resistor, and gently pulled it out. But anything's plausible. It's very plausible I could have broke that. But I would think that even though, as you see, I had it unsoldered, it wouldn't have broke that easy. So I could have had breakdown in that as well. So definitely something going on in this region here. See the other ones, they don't look too bad. I did pull the capacitors out, and I checked all these capacitors, and you can see this one right here also got gunk on it. So that could be all that happened, just junk, something spilled on it, became corrosive or conductive over the years. Let's see if that indeed may or may not have been the case. The resistors that I pulled out of here, by the way, all of them were spot on. I had no problems, no worries with them, no concerns. They were spot on the money. So now I'm thinking, well, gosh, do I go forward and recap this whole thing or not? I gotta tell you, honestly, it was definitely a pain in the backside just to get these 4 pulled out of here. So we're going to try this burn area first, and we're going to check the carbons. Let me try to get my light a little better for you. Or not carbon, but, well, yeah, I guess carbon. Conductivity. And none. Let me, just for heck of it, since I'm here, let me see if I can get any kind of ohm reading out of that. Microphone's probably not picking that up, it's too far away. But as I lay my probe down into that, that just gets all nice and crunchy. I'm looking at this backwards, so my probe placement is askewed. And nothing. My camera is backwards, so that's why I'm bouncing all over the place in the wrong area. And that's not showing any conductivity neither. But we definitely need to clean this all up. Since I'm here and this is the fault area, I'm pretty confident. I'm going to go ahead and pull these, test them out of circuit, see what happens. I thought maybe I should bump you in a little closer so you could take a peek at that a little easier. You see how burnt that board is. Definitely need to clean that up, get rid of that. And with it being as late as it is this evening, I may just call it a night and pick this up again tomorrow or the next opportunity I have. It's been a couple of days since the last clip. I went ahead and cleaned this hole out. Still got a little charring, but I got all the main hard crusty stuff off. And what you're seeing is the hole that resistor had burnt in there. It got hot, and it's been frying that board for quite some time. Even though the resistor checked out good, I'm going to replace it regardless. And I forgot to show you the resistor in the last clip. And there's the resistor. So definitely a lot of, I don't know why I said that, a little bit hot there. That's 100 ohm, 100K, 100 something. We're going to replace that, and I'm also going to replace this jumper that's right there and see what happens. Hopefully we got something. Now, earlier I made a comment about recapping this entire thing. It was going to go on my workbench and gussy it up, make it look really nice. As stated, it's been a couple of days since the last video clip. Since then, I have purchased another stereo unit for my workbench that I like a lot better. That will be another video. So I'm not going to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this unit. I'm just going to do what I need to get it up and going. And that's it. The old capacitors, as stated, showed fine. So I may entertain just putting them back and saving my new capacitors for something else as needed. I don't know. I may swap them out. I'll figure that out once I get there. So let me go ahead and put in the new resistor, put in the new jumper, and then we'll set this up to see. I need to weld all the capacitors back in, and then we'll see if we can actually get sound out of that son of a gun. Got the capacitors all stabbed in, jumpers put back into place, new resistor put in, and then I went through and I scrubbed the board with a little bristle brush and a whole bunch of isopropyl alcohol. Knocked off a good chunk of dirt and grime and gunk on all the boards. May not be perfect, but it's at least 80% better than what it was. As you see here, I now have it all ANSI approved with these safety blankets in here to ensure that nothing sparks, shorts out, or anything like that. I'm going to have the power switch in the on position. I will plug it into my isolation transformer, and then I'll hit the big red switch on it to fire it up, and then we'll see if fruits of our labor here is going to be very prosperous, or we need to continue on in our journey. Power switch on. Alright, here we go. We're plugged into the isolation transformer. Hitting the big red switch. We have display. Nothing immediately has blown up. I'm not hearing that speaker work. Try balance. And that's a negative. And I'm not hearing anything.
Confession here, I need a Savior. My spirit hath rejoiced in God my Savior. Guarded the lowest state of his handmaiden. For behold, from henceforth all generations. For he that young to this great thing, and holy is his name, and his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation. He hath showed strength with his arm.
Purposely off frequency.
He hath put down the mighty from the
Alright, so the only thing I'm thinking now is there's a problem with that power amplifier. So I need to check voltages.